Welcome everybody. I'm at home today. I'm not in the office. I've been in quarantine since Friday of last week. Started feeling kind of bad during the week last week, but I was in denial. Couldn't be that I've got COVID because I've got the vaccines from Pfizer. I got both vaccines in about 4 months ago. Felt really great, but I've been around a lot of people that have COVID, and so I was fearful that I might have it. And sure enough, Friday night I did a home test from Abbott Labs, and it determined that I have COVID. So I've been in quarantine since Friday evening here at our house. Now, I'm really lucky because, as you might be able to see, I got a swimming pool, I got a really nice house. I'm at one end of the house, my wife is at the other end of the house, and we're suffering through the quarantine time. I've watched a movie. I watched the movie Secretariat. What a great movie. I've done a lot of reading. I've done some exercise. I have gotten out and about and done some walking. I have a German Shepherd, and my dog and we've gone walking a couple of times. But I want to take you back through this process of how COVID has affected our company and how it's affected me as the CEO of the company. Back in 2020, we finished our run across the United States in March. At the beginning of March, there was a lot of talk about COVID. I still didn't know how much it was going to affect the country and the world, but I was determined on March 5th to go out to Arizona and to run from Phoenix, Arizona to San Diego, California. We had 3 days to make it happen. So as we got our crew together, we were running a relay, and as we got our crew together, there was a lot of skepticism about whether or not we'd even be able to get a flight home. I was very concerned that they were going to shut down the airlines. But of course, there's other ways to get home besides flying. We could have obviously rented a car. One thing about a business owner, you've always got to be looking out for all your options, all the things you can do in case this happens, because this happens all the time. Key employees aren't able to come to work. Setbacks in major orders with suppliers, and also being able to fulfill orders in sales. There's just always something going on. Every morning that I wake up, I know that the day is going to be full of problems. And I just need to be resourceful and expect those problems and find out ways for solutions. So back in 2000, when the pandemic started, we were able to run from Phoenix, Arizona all the way to San Diego, and we were able to get a flight home. But one of the guys that was with us was really concerned because he's a day trader. And I think day trading is highly risky, and I don't recommend day trading for anybody, but he makes a pretty good living at it. Except he also operates on a margin account. And at the beginning of March 2020, that's when the stock started tumbling, and they did a margin call on him. And he lost a considerable amount of money the days that we were out running from Phoenix to San Diego, which was the completion of running across the entire United States, which took over 2 years to do. When we got back into Oklahoma City, there was more trembling about what was going to happen in the future, about what the federal government was trying to do or what they were planning on doing. And in March, that's when the big decision was that only companies that were essential could be open, and that everybody else needed to stay quarantined inside their homes. Our company is considered an essential. Pace Butler Corporation is considered an essential company because we're in communications. We're in the cell phone business, and so it was important for us to be able to be in business. This was before the government came out with the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Plan. And so we had a staff of about 75 people at the time, and we needed to make decisions quickly. We did not open on the Monday, and we just brought in the leadership team with an outside consultant, a person that had been mentoring me in business and helping me to make vital decisions in our company. And we looked at the situation, and it was a lot like, in some ways, the situation in 2002 when Pace Butler was under a class action lawsuit. and we had to stop a lot of our marketing efforts, which through direct fax, and our revenues just dropped. And we had all these people on staff in 2002, and I made some mistakes by trying to keep those people on when we had no way to pay them. And we really dug down into our capital reserve very quickly, and we were not able to recover from that financially. So in 2020, same scenario, different case, obviously COVID, as opposed to a business crisis with our marketing, but we didn't have revenue coming in. And this is at the very beginning of it. I predicted that the government was going to continue to shut us all down and we wouldn't be able to operate on a full strength. Plus, people were very scared, and I think people have gotten kind of used to COVID. But let me tell you, COVID is still very real. I've got it. I am recovering. It affects everybody differently, and I can tell you this, if you're vaccinated and you get COVID, it's not going to be near as severe. So I recommend everybody get vaccinated. The FDA just approved the Pfizer vaccination. And I've done some study, I've done some reading about back in the 1900s when the United States was dealing with polio. And there are a lot of the same behaviors in America today that there were back when the polio epidemic was breaking out, taking people's lives and also leaving some people paralyzed for life. So there's a lot of similarities, and if you want some interesting reading material and see how we kind of repeat history, I'd recommend that you take a look at the polio epidemic back in the 1900s. Once we met in our conference room and we discussed our possibilities, one of the things I wanted to do is if we were going to lay people off, if we were going to let people go, we needed to react quickly so that they could get in front of the line of all the people that would be applying for unemployment. We did have some issues. We released a lot of people and they were able to file for unemployment. We did have some issues because some of our people had not been in the workforce long enough to qualify for unemployment. Young people that had just got into the workforce, and also people that had been incarcerated in prison and they'd just been released, and there were no benefits available for them. Also, we had some people that were self-employed right before coming to work at Pace Butler, and they didn't pay into the unemployment insurance themselves at the time, and so they weren't eligible. So I didn't really anticipate those. Laying those people off. I felt like they would all be entitled to unemployment insurance, but several of our people that we let off, which is around 42 people that we laid off, a few of those people were not eligible for unemployment. The government stepped in and did a great job providing the PPP plan, the Paycheck Protection Plan, which gave every small business a vote of confidence that we could hire back people, we could operate, and that's what we started doing. We started hiring people back as soon as we could. As soon as we got the Paycheck Protection Plan, we started hiring people back. We minimized a lot of cost. We were very careful about what actions we took. And actually, 2020 turned out to be a really good year. We were profitable. We were able to bring back almost 49 employees. Our biggest problem right now is finding people to come to work. We've continued to raise the salaries that we're paying, and that's been helpful, but it's been difficult. I think every company that's in business in the United States right now is having a problem finding great employees, or finding employees to work at all. And we want to hire people that really want to be at our company, that get what the company's about, and have the capacity to do the job. So we're not just going to hire somebody because they're legal to work in the United States, but we need to hire people that can really work together in a team atmosphere to achieve great things. So, as we go along the year 2020, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear. And that was a time when I really had to focus on what's at hand. What do I need to do next? What's the next right thing I need to do? And one of the things that I did was I really, really limited my exposure to media and my exposure to social media. Because it's just, so much drama. I always wondered why people watch soap operas, why people watch shows where people, are dealing with problems all the time. I basically am a negative person. My first thought is not positive. I have to really, really work at staying positive. And through this pandemic, I've had to take a lot of positive action in order to stay positive. Some of the things that I do to stay positive, one is I read good information. I read autobiographies about people that have dealt with struggles, and one of the books that I talk about is Shoe Dog, a great book. A book about the founder of Nike, one of my favorite books. I've read it several times. I continue to listen to it on Audible. It's a really great book. But I read a lot. I don't know if you guys can see or not, but I am sweating. And the reason why I'm sweating is it's about 95 degrees out here right now. And my videographer is really concerned about catching the virus, and I don't blame him. So we're filming outside. We're not in my backyard. And I'm glad that John came out to film this. Everybody has to continue to make adjustments, and that's one of the things about successful people is they make adjustments. So number one, in order to stay motivated and ready to go, is reading positive information, mostly books. Also, exercise, extremely important. I try to run 5 days a week. If I don't run 5 days a week, I get depressed. Now, it's not because of the running, it's because naturally I think I'm a depressed person. And so when I started running, I started feeling better. And so I wanted to continue the run. Now, with COVID, I haven't been able to run, but I have been able to do a brisk walk. And so my German Shepherd and I, we go walking 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes as fast as I can walk. And I remember one of my mentors, his name was Danny, and he was in his 80s. And he would go to the mall and he would walk at a speed that was almost jogging speed. And he was in remarkable health, and he always had a positive attitude. Exercise. Now, I also do push-ups on a regular basis. I do 150 push-ups every morning. And this morning was the first time I've been able to easily do 150 push-ups since last Friday. I felt a lot better, and I thought, well, I'll go do a home test and I'll see. I'm sure I'm over it. Well, I'm not over it. I still showed that I'm positive. I don't have any temperature, other I probably got a temperature right now being out in the sun. But I don't have any temperature. I don't really have any symptoms other than my voice is a little hoarse. I know I'm going to be out of this. I'm not going to have this issue going on forever. I know there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel. I know I'm going to feel better. I got to focus on that. I got to focus on what I want. What in my life do I want to happen next? I want to continue to run a successful business. I want to continue to be a successful husband, a husband that really, I want to serve my wife, I want to serve my kids. So back to the things, okay. 1 is I read, 2 is I exercise. 3 is I take action. Yesterday at home, I did a to-do list. It's extremely important for me to have a to-do list. And I need to work on it. You know, I'm 64 years old. You would think I would have this one skill set down. I still don't have it down. I just finished reading a book about 10 only. And it talks about having a to-do list, but only putting 10s, the most important thing that you can do on that list. So yesterday I had 4 10s on my to-do list. I got 3 of them done. 1 of them I finished this morning. So continuing to work on the 10s. Today, quite honestly, I don't have an adequate to-do list. The only thing that was on my to-do list is is to do this interview so that John could get it uploaded for next week. Number 4 is I need to talk to people that are a part of the solution. Normally I would go and be around those people in person. I can't do that right now, so I'm making phone calls, and instead of me talking the whole time, which that's my favorite thing to do, I'm listening more, I'm asking questions, I'm not interrupting, I'm trying to learn from other people how they're doing what they're doing and how they're continuing to take action out on the streets. Yesterday, one of the actions I decided to take was I got in my car and I drove 60 miles to where my daughter is going to college. I had a bouquet of flowers I wanted to deliver to her just to surprise her. I left the flowers at the front. I didn't get to see her, but it was just the act. You know, all the way up there I thought about how much I love my daughter and how important my daughter is to me, and I just felt really good. And I left the flowers there, and before I got home, I got a text message from her. Of course, I didn't read the text when I'm driving. Yes, I did. So I read the text when I was driving, kind of almost off the road a little bit, but it was a 4-lane highway, plenty, and not a lot of cars. But I don't recommend texting and driving. As I approached Oklahoma City, you know, I felt really good about the fact that maybe tomorrow, today, that I won't have to, you know, be quarantined, but I'm still quarantined, and I'm taking the right action. I want to stay away from people. I don't want to spread the virus any more than I don't want to spread the virus, period. So it's important to know that we got to minimize our expenses when we're in a situation like this. We got to rely on help from every source that we can get, whether it's the government, whether it's our customers, whether it's our vendors. We need to all work together to get through this process. And that's what we're doing. We're taking a lot of the right actions at work. Last week, we had a substantial amount of people out for COVID. I was on the tail end of it, but we ended up with 16 people out of 48 people that had COVID. And the sad thing is, 14 of those were not vaccinated. So there are only 2 of us that got COVID that were vaccinated, and I can tell you probably some of the best promoters of the vaccination now are all those 14 people that went through the COVID being unvaccinated. A lot of reasons why people didn't want to take the vaccination. There's a lot of reasons to take the vaccination. So I'm glad I did. I'm glad my case has been mild. I also got to continue to focus on what's next in the business. What's going to happen in the future? You know, the stock market's up and down, but it's going up and that kind of stuff. I invest in stocks. I also have real estate and our company that buys used cell phones in the United States. So I got to look at all of those, plus our nonprofit, the World Book Bank, which we donate books to people in jails and prisons, schools, and homeless shelters. So it's important for me to continue to take action. It's important for me to take advice from other people. And if you've got questions about how to navigate through this as a small business owner, feel free to give me a phone call. My phone number is at the bottom of this video. I'd be happy to talk with you because we're in this together. America is a great country, and we continue to make the world a better place by a lot of activity, positive activity. In the book, The Science of Getting Rich, which I've talked about for the last couple of weeks, and I'll continue to talk about it because it's such a great book. It talks about, I want for you what I want for myself. I want people to be financially successful. I want people to be healthy. I want people to have quality of life, live in nice homes, not be living in poverty. I'm trying to continue to raise the salaries that we pay our employees by minimizing a lot of efforts that we do that are non-beneficial to our customers and to our employees and to the company. So by focusing on what I can improve and what we can improve daily is helping us to become more successful. I'm learning how to fly an airplane right now. I have lessons, and today is my day I'm supposed to fly, but obviously I'm not going to fly because I got COVID. So I called my instructor and I told him, you know, I'm not going to be able to fly today, and I scheduled for a couple of weeks out where I'm going to be able to go fly again. I'm also wanting to learn Spanish, and in the book Atomic Habits, he talks about don't miss a day, but work on it every day. So I'm trying to do at least 2 minutes of learning Spanish. And it's the weirdest thing. Over a period of time, I'm learning more and more about Spanish, and I'm feeling more comfortable. I'm not comfortable enough yet to sit down with somebody and just have a discussion in Spanish, especially somebody I don't know, but I'm getting there. Thank you for hanging in there. Thank you for doing your job, whatever job you have in the United States. Thank you for owning a company. Thank you for being a business leader. Thank you for being a leader. Thank you for mothers and parents that are still keeping the right attitude and showing the right example of the things to do. People are watching us. So we continue to try to do the right things. Continue to lead by being the right example. Thank you for watching today. This means a lot to me to be out here in the sun and talking with you. You guys are a great audience. I like your comments. I like your phone calls that I get from you guys. I know that there's a lot of fear going on, and I appreciate the opportunity to help you to navigate through this difficult time that we're going through. Have a great day.